It is another beautiful Wednesday, my dudes, which of course means one thing and one thing only. It is time to revisit Velocity Lake, the Planet Coaster theme park that I'm currently building as a weekly series on this YouTube channel, which is a channel on the site YouTube, which is on the internet. And that's the premise of this video. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're picking up basically exactly where we left off last episode. For a quick recap. Well, I'm not going to recap everything. We are 51 episodes in, my goodness. To summarize the last 50 episodes, everything was building up to this. And everything we did in the previous 50 episodes was all in service to the magnificent thing we're building in today's video, which is a generic brick park office that's really only here to fill in this gap between the two buildings we built last episode. Yes, to actually summarize what we did last episode. We built the two little warehouse structures. We got a sort of depot where the little car departs from to go round its tour of the Velocity Lake. And obviously we've got the main warehouse drop-off garage as well. But we got this space in the middle, and I wasn't sure how to fill it. Initially, for Velocity Lake historians out there, initially when it was just that big, horrible, square concrete building, we had some shipping containers in this spot, but it looked a bit naff, looked a bit, why? We haven't really got that much office space in this park. It's getting pretty sizable, right? It's a very big park. We've got a big monorail network to manage. We have a hotel and casino. We have two monorails. It's a whole monorail network. We've got all these depots. We probably should have more substantial office space than what we have at the moment, which is effectively the implied office space inside the monorail station. And of course, the building that sits above the entrance archway into the theme park itself. And I guess, it's within reason to assume that rooms inside the hotel and indeed the hotel station will have offices as well. But it's still a bit lacking. We need some dedicated office space where we can, I don't know, do whatever it is theme park offices do, talk about synergy, things like that. So that's what we're going to be doing in this episode. Is building this building here. And it's not going to be the only office that we build in this style. I'm going to build another brick building that looks exactly like this one. In fact, did I just clone it? I feel like I didn't clone it verbatim, but I kind of copied it and just changed some of the sides. Like it's not a perfect square, so it had some pizzazz to the shape of the building. So I modified some of the curves and where they go and stuff like that, but it's basically the same building. So we're going to have one here and one just across the river. That was it, actually. I feel like I started out like I was going to say something more than that. But I really didn't. I had nothing else to add other than just it's a clone. It's a semi-clone. It's a failed clone, one might even suggest, of this building on the other side of the river. A lot of repetition in that in that odyssey of speech just there. Oh, it's only 3 minutes. It feels like hours at this point. Because there isn't really much to talk about, right? That was definitely a sentence. I said that so fast and so incoherently. There's not really much to talk about. It's basically just me building generic office stuff. I kind of introduced the subject of what we'll be doing over the next few episodes last week in episode 50. I did say in episode 50, I was kind of disappointed that that's what episode 50 ended up being. I feel like 50, although a completely arbitrary figure, in reality, in terms of the physical universe, it is no more significant than episode 47. But 50, we've kind of associated it as this big sort of definitive round number, halfway to 100. Don't worry, guys, the series is not going to be 100 episodes. It's halfway to 100. It's a big, significant thing. I could have done something more, but no, I just kind of built a warehouse. It's not even part of the park. It's all part of the periphery of the park. So, kind of disappointed, but whatever. We had to do this somewhere, and disappointing is my middle name. And what are we doing here? Moving on. I think I'm just looking at... Yeah, one thing I'm not quite sure about is you can kind of see the backstage of the park from the entrance ramp up to Velocity Lake. I have said before that I'm not too worried about guests being able to see all the backstage workings of the theme park. So you've kind of got two approaches when building the backstage area of a park, right? You've got the Disneyland approach where everything is very much hidden. It's like a stage, right? They call it backstage. You've got the stage hands who work there. It's all very much hidden. They want to maintain this illusion that you're in an escapist world. And then there's Six Flags, which is basically just a giant tarmac field with roller coasters in it, and that's it. And it's all very skeletal. Both perfectly fine systems. I mean, I for one prefer Six Flags parks because I like my roller coasters. I'm not too bothered about Disney, but I guess it is a slightly different demographic, and that's why both exist, because everyone is different. And this commentary is gradually becoming somewhat philosophical, isn't it? But no, Velocity Lake, I feel like it kind of follows the Six Flags the Six Flags approach slightly more than it follows the Disney approach. But I feel like Velocity Lake does kind of is a good meeting of of two worlds. Like, yes, if you go out of your way and really look for the behind the scenes stuff, you can find it. But the front end of the park looks pretty nice. Like, it is all quite nicely themed, even if a lot of the theming is just generic. It is still like, everything's quite tidy. If any of that made sense to anyone, that's kind of an overview of the philosophy we've been following here at Velocity Lake. Velocity philosophy. Maybe there's a reason. I don't know, guys. I'm really just dragging this out. I mean, we're 6 minutes in. Oh yeah, this is what I said last episode, that these episodes are a little bit shorter than the preceding ones, because I find it really hard to sustain commentary for like an hour when what I'm doing on screen is basically one thing for an hour, and I think it's quite boring to watch as an audience. Like, I know there are like some of you out there who like the longer episodes. Me, not so much. I have to watch all of these videos. Believe it or not, some quality control does actually go into this series, and I do rewatch all of the Planet Coaster videos before they go live. So I watch them all, and I feel like the shorter ones, they're much easier to digest. I feel like the ones that go on for like an hour, and it's me just building a path or a queue line for that entire hour, it does get a bit one note. I think the shorter episodes are better for more monotonous stuff, and I consider all this to be a bit more monotonous than, say, the construction of a themed area or a roller coaster or something like that. Although I did notice that a few people in the episode before last, episode 49, I think this was this episode anyway, where people were commenting that they preferred watching the videos of the infrastructure builds rather than, the actual roller coasters themselves. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like I learned something throughout this commentary, but I'm not quite sure what it is yet. I'll get back to you guys when I figure it out. But I thought, shorter episodes, I feel like I can keep the commentary a little bit on track. I feel like I laugh as I say that, because what have I even talked about this commentary? But, I was saying, I zoomed out like, oh, how much longer have we got? Normally I'm like, oh, it's been 5 minutes and I've got 45 minutes left to talk about whatever just happens to pop into my mind. I mean, what did I talk? I've just recorded last week's commentary, and I still don't do that much in my life because of, the situation we're in. We're all a bit restricted in what we can do. So I already talked about the big thing I did this week, which was clean my keyboard. It's so nice. Like, I'm just looking at it in front of me. It's beautiful. And I kind of I bought one of those little USB vacuum cleaners designed for desks, so it doesn't produce static and stuff, so you can clean up computers, and it's great. Highly recommend it. I'm just going to do a plug. If you guys want to sponsor me, Honk Mini Portable Vacuum Cleaner, Suction Strong. That's what it says on the box. It says Mini Portable Vacuum Cleaner, Suction Strong, on 3 different lines. On the back, it's got many features. The features are keyboard cleaning, pet house cleaning, and it's the Hoover being used on a dog, and car health cleaning, and it's cleaning out the handbrake of a car with leather seats. That's a very nice looking car. Wouldn't mind an upgrade. I've got a Vauxhall Corsa at the moment. It's not great. Only 1.2 litre, a bit weedy up hills. And let's see what else we got. Noise. Less than but up to 75 decibels. Very nice. Functions. It's got a power switch. Click on, then click off. Nozzle. 2 kinds of straw can be replaced. Filter. Detachable cleaning by water. After drying, then install it. Routine maintenance. Open the cylinder dust. Okay, this is what it's come to. But yeah, if you guys over at Honk want to sponsor me, I can fully say without a shadow of a doubt that with this vacuum cleaner, suction good. Is that what it even said? I dropped the box. Suction strong, I might add. Sorry. Yes, sorry, Hog. Suction very strong. This fence is very strong also. Going back to the commentary. I don't know what any of that was, but we're going to press on. This is a nice substantial fence. We kind of have this awkward sort of rim between the concrete of the ground, as in the ground path, and the bank, the grassy knoll. So I thought it'd be nice to sort of tidy up that little rough edge with a planter. Planters is the way to go to fill in any sort of awkward gaps between paths and nature, Planters are a good way to go. And obviously we can just round off the other end of the planter as well. And we've done some great things in this episode. So we now connected this road up. I did mention a couple of episodes ago that I forgot to take into consideration that the actual arterial road system that feeds in to this part of the park is all one way. So staff are stuck once they enter. So I'm going to have to do some reconfiguration or build another road or a flyover or an underpass or something that lets cars get back to the main road without having to rejoin the one-way system the wrong way. And speaking of the main road, you guys very correctly pointed out the huge fatal blunder I made when designing it, in that the actual entryways and exitways onto the road assume the traffic is going in the same direction on both sides. So I've basically built the world's biggest one-way street. So I'm going to have to change the exitway. I mean, some people, some wonderful souls out there will give me the benefit of the doubt, which you should never do. Never give me the benefit of the doubt in any situation, really. In that, oh, maybe, it's not finished yet. Maybe that was just another exit ramp that's going to feed into the staff quarters. Nope. No, I'm just an idiot, and I forgot that actually the traffic moves in a different direction on the other side of the road. I like to think I can just blame it on the fact that I was using reference images of, I don't know, an American highway where cars drive on the right, and then for the other side of the road, I was using maybe some reference images of a British motorway where people drive on the left, and I kind of confused the two. But in reality, I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I have no idea how I made that mistake or how I never, because it was I spent hours and hours working on it. How at no point did I just zoom out and think, hang on. I may have made a boo-boo here, but then that moment never happened. So kind of got a weird, I'm going to call it an Easter egg. For anyone looking into the park. Luckily, it's not going to be a road that gets used. This ain't no city skyline, so it's not too much of a big deal, but it's weird. It needs to go. So that's next on my list of projects to do in Velocity Lake. There are a lot of things that have been built that you guys have not seen yet, so the next few episodes are going to be other stuff. So chiefly, after we finish the little subplot of me building all this backstage stuff, we're going to work on a B&M invert coaster. Velocity Lake's final roller coaster, I might add. At least, I think it's the final one, because now, obviously for me, the park's in a much more complete state, and there really isn't enough room to build another roller coaster. So I'm pretty sure I can categorically say that it's the last roller coaster of Velocity Lake. And then that's it. Then we can all just we can do a series on another game, or just build another theme park. Probably it's a bit soon to be doing ambitious stuff like other games, and maybe I could do like an Animal Crossing playthrough or something. I don't know. That's another game I've been playing a lot recently, but I feel like I'm starting to get a bit bored of it. Like, I've done it, I've beaten it, I paid off my mortgages, I've caught most of the fish. Now I just have to wait till another season rolls around, and it's like, okay. So maybe not Animal Crossing. Maybe I'll just build another theme park. Do you guys have any ideas for another theme park, in Velocity Lake? I've got lots of ideas that I'd love to make, but they don't really work in Planet Coaster because Planet Coaster's maps are really, really restricted. So I'd love to build a beach park, and I'd love to build maybe a pier park, or I'd love to even build like an island park or a park on an oil rig or something. But all of the Planet Coaster maps are flanked by 4 sides of land. Every single border of the park is land. You can't have ocean borders, so it's a bit limited. That's why I've kind of gone with lakes. But even lakes are hard because having rivers that feed into them just end at the park border. Whatever. Anyway, there's an end screen. You've probably noticed the end screen by this point. Left-hand side is a link to the full Velocity Lake playlist. Right-hand side is a video chosen for you based on your viewing habits. And that's it. Goodbye.